Hey guys, here we are at Speciality Food in London at Olympia. I'm with Patrick from Inverawe Smoke House. Just going to talk about their flagship product. So Patrick, tell us about the Inverawe Smoked Elvet Trout.
The smoked elongate trout was the first product we ever we started with. I mean, Dad started with a fish farm in 1975.
Okay.
And then we were selling all that fresh to everyone. And then in 1982, we decided to add value to it, basically. So we basically started to smoke fish.
Right.
He was trained by a great guy called Bill Pinney.
Okay.
And Bill came up and showed Dad the real sort of the real traditional way of smoking fish.
So where were you getting the trout from back then?
Well, we were farming it ourselves.
Really?
From scratch. Yeah.
So, just so people know, how do you farm? I mean, I understand you put cows in a field and you put sheep in a pen. where do you put trout?
Well, we had back then. I mean, in the 70s, I would say the gold rush in the West Coast was people starting to farm fish.
Right.
And that's where.
But in what sense? Do you put like an underwater fence up? Or?
Yeah, I suppose it's like it's not a cage. I don't like using that word. Cage gives you sort of prison feeling.
Right.
No, it's basically nets. You have nets that hang down. You've got to have really good currents.
Right.
Because there are two reasons for that. One is it clears everything away from underneath, and the other side of it is your fish. You want your fish to work.
Right.
And one thing Dad sort of did, and was quite unique to fish farming, was he basically, one thing he was passionate about was feeding by hand.
Right.
Nowadays you get all these machines, and they pump out all these things and they feed. And Dad's philosophy always was, if you feed by hand, you're looking every day at your product.
Right. And
you're learning about it, so you can see if something's wrong.
And see it growing and developing, and wow, that's really interesting.
So as a boy, it was great. I mean, I grew up on a fish farm, and every day, Christmas Day, you'd have to pull in the boat, go out with Dad.
Now, I also remember from my cattle days when I worked with dairy farmers, but cows have a conversion rate of food, but isn't fish, trout, quite a high conversion rate from food to the actual food you feed them to the weight of the fish?
Yeah, I mean, like anything, I mean, I think it is quite good. I mean, you know, it's conversion rates would be much more up Dad's street.
Right, okay.
But I would certainly say it varies as well.
Right.
I mean, you know, some of the big salmon farmers, you know, the stuff you buy at supermarkets these days, they basically, August comes, hot water, pump it out, yield goes. That's when you get all that big fatty mark.
Right.
You know, what we do is basically take much smaller fish anyway.
Okay.
And so, you know, try and get them early on. So it depends really what you're wanting.
Guys, just so I meant conversion rate there is how much of a kilo of food turns into a kilo of fish. Yeah. So, for instance, I have a pretty good 1-to-1 conversion rate. I eat a kilo of food, I seem to put a kilo on. Other people seem to do a lot less than me. So that's really cool. So how many fish would you say back in the day would be on a farm at any one time? Is that a bit of a fair question?
It's a bit fair question. I wouldn't. I mean, it was small. We were probably only doing about 20 ton a year, something like that.
Right.
Tiny.
Okay.
And then basically throughout the years, we then leased it out.
Right. Because you were saying that you buy the fish back now, but from the original farms, but you focus on the factory and the production side, and you let other people locally now produce the fish for you. So your fish miles, your swim distance is very low.
No, I mean it's incredibly low. I mean it's one of the things that I'm passionate about, because we get from our farms, you know, all comes in the crates, so the product comes straight from farms, straight to factory, okay, and then out. And so you get a really good fresh product, and it's food miles wise. I mean, although you know you've got to prove it, and that will cost you 80 grand, or consultants with little clipboards. You know, so gut feel is that yes, it's probably pretty well.
Brilliant, so just tell us quickly about the flavour and the taste. So what is it? What would people expect when they open up a pack of this?
You would expect to get from this, with the trout, you get a real rich, creamy texture. I mean, we will put that out on tasting, and people will see it and taste it and go, "Oh, that's delicious salmon." Yeah, it's a trout. And they go looking at it like that, and they're sort of falling over, going, "Really?" Yeah, that's trout. It's got a real creamy texture, but then that's also associated with the way we smoke fish, which is logs give you a creamy smoke.
Okay.
If you think of it as chips burn fast. Okay. If you imagine in your house when you've got your wood burning stove, you shut it off, and it burns forever when the wood burning. That's the smoke we use, and it's a real creamy, slow. I mean, that takes 24 to 48 hours.
Really, to smoke?
To smoke it.
Wow, that's fascinating. Guys, I'll tell you what, we're just going to open this pack in a minute and have a quick taste, but I could talk to Patrick all day on this subject. We're just going to have a quick taste. We'll be back in one pack here. We're just going to try the smoked So where's the word Elvic come from, just quickly?
Etiv. That's
Etiv, sorry.
Etiv. Oh, yeah,
Etiv.
there we are. Then we get called many a thing for people down here. It's Loch Etiv, yeah.
Oh, well, that's the lock. Oh, I see.
Like that. Yeah, Loch.
Nice.
Etiv.
So guys, we have a quick taste. Oh, it is creamy.
Creamy. Completely different. It's got a wonderful flavour.
And I'm not being... that is a really subtle smoke as well.
Yeah. Subtle smoke. It's just, and that's time. I mean, many people say to us, "What is your secret?" The secret is just take your time.
Right.
Nice
and
if
slow.
you're doing it at home, just take your time. You know, just that's the art of smoking.
Guys, I'm sure they will kill me for saying this, but the Cassin's English Mayonnaise Dylan Lemon would actually just a real little bit just on the side would go so well with that as well. Guys, I was going to get that for Patrick, but I'm going to eat this bit now. Guys, I recommend this. The Smoked Loch Etiv Trout. Please put this in your basket, guys. Absolute must. Perfect. Thank you.